Speaker, can we get 2 minutes so that we count members who have logged in?
Councillor Ramasidela present, Madam Speaker.
Noted.
Councillor Hopane present, Speaker. Hopane
Noted.
MP.
Hopane.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Speaker.
Councillor
Yes,
Councillor.
Councillor who?
Speaker,
Councillor
Councillor
Mokome.
also present.
Councillor Yabar has got an apology, Speaker.
Councillor.
Okay.
Did you recognize me, Speaker?
Also present, Speaker.
Councillor who?
Sorry?
Mpilo is
We're
also
all talking
present.
and I can't hear who is who.
Pilo, you are noted.
Thank you.
Speaker, you haven't recognized me. Councillor Lebo also present.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Lube.
Madam Speaker, we have 82 members
Madam
who have
Chair, also present.
Mutlaving. Councillor Mutlaving, noted.
we have 23 members.
Councillor Poshoko present. Madam
Noted,
Speaker.
Councillor Poshoko.
Yes, Speaker, we have 83 members who have connected. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretariat. This is a properly constituted council meeting. And I take this opportunity to welcome the Executive Mayor, the Chief Whip, members of the Mayoral Committee, leaders of the opposition, honorable councillors, acting municipal manager, and all our officials, media, and valued members of the public connected to this meeting. I declare this meeting officially open. Honorable councillors, on the 23rd of February 2022, the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwana, delivered his 2022-2023 budget speech to the table, the 2022 national budget. In his speech, he hinted that we had more than a decade of economic stagnation, and this is a serious challenge for municipalities which are at the coal phase of service delivery. That only through sustained economic growth and South Africa create enough jobs to reduce poverty and inequality, enabling us to reach our goal of a better life for all. Municipalities are one of the country's economic pillars, and they are expected to roll out infrastructure programs that will uplift the economy and contribute significantly to economic growth. To address this, 2.9 billion has been added by the Minister to the local government equitable share to uplift the provide services to our people. He further emphasized that these funds or allocations must be used for the purpose they are meant for. Honorable councillors, 175 out of 257 municipalities are in financial distress. As municipalities, we need to be accountable to the public on funds allocated and services that were provided. Honorable councillors, collection of revenue is another critical issue in local government. If we fail to collect enough revenue as municipalities for the service rendered, we won't be able to deliver on our mandate, and in a way, we will be failing our people. With those few words, honorable councillors, I take this opportunity to declare this council officially open. Secretariat, can you read the next item? Secretariat. Ms. Mashiro.
We have exchanged the gadget. We are now using Ponzo's gadget.
Okay, thank you. May you read
you.
the next item, please?
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. Section A items, recommendations of the Mayoral Committee to Council. Item number 1.
Secretariat, we are on item number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Speaker. We are on item number 2, application for leave of absence.
On my side, I'm having the apology of Councillor Lawrence and Councillor Jaku Jubet.
Noted, Madam Speaker. From our side, we don't have any apology.
Okay, I can see the hand of Councillor Pretorius.
Thank you, Speaker. I did not want to speak on this item. I actually just wanted to ask a question. Why is our meeting postponed now for the second time, and why are we not going according to the corporate calendar? I'm just wondering because we are supposed to work according to the corporate calendar. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pretorius. I'm advised that there was doing the finalization of the budget adjustment. Thank you. Secretariat, you can read the next item, please.
There are other hands, Speaker.
Councillor, I see the hand of Councillor Max will be followed by Councillor Mutapo. Evans, thank you. In that, okay, I can see again the hand of Councillor Rapetwa. In that order, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I just want to add on what Councillor Pretorius said. And this is more a plea to you as the Speaker with the WIP and Executive Mayor. You must remember that most of the council are part-time councillors. So when the corporate calendar is prepared by council and adopted by council, then we plan our schedule and meetings accordingly. So when your office decide to deviate from this corporate calendar, it really inconveniences most of the councillors. And I would propose that in future, I understand there might be circumstances where we can't continue with the meeting. But as the Mayor previously indicated, at least give the caucus leaders a courtesy call and say, Councillor, we are unable to proceed on this day and this day. Will Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday be suitable? And then at least, although it's your prerogative, but at least out of courtesy, we all work together and make sure that we get a time that is suitable to all of us. We all want to work together, but please also respect us who also plan according to the corporate calendar. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Max. Councillor Mutapo.
Yes, no, thank you very much, Speaker. Reminding the Speaker of the request that we had. This issue of visual meeting, Speaker, I don't know if you are working on the issue of trying to get physical councils. We really plead with you in this regard, because it really, these gadgets are giving us problems and we can't ventilate properly. We understand that we are trying our best to do that, but please really look into the issue of having a physical council. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Mutapo. Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I do feel what the previous councillors whom spoke about sticking to the corporate calendar. I do share their sentiment as it inconveniences members of council. And also, just want to apologize from my side as the whip of council that perhaps I could have done better in terms of interacting with party political organizations represented in council on this matter. But like you have said, the finalization of the budget adjustment has caused this particular shift. But I just want to apologize for not interacting as I should have with political organizations on the matter. And my apology in that regard. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Rapetswa. I can see the hand of Councillor Mura.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to speak on the matter of virtual and physical meetings. I don't know what is the obsession with physical meetings from Councillor that spoke just now. The Speaker is not wrong to call the meetings in whichever way she feels the meeting should be held. Whether we are in COVID or not, even during the time where we get past this COVID, the Speaker can still even call a virtual meeting. So this the previous councillor must just allow the Speaker to do her work. Always asking the same question regarding physical and virtual meetings, it's really wasting our time. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much, councillors. And we apologize for the postponement of the council. We will improve from our office to make sure we stick to the corporate calendar, but we have delayed because of finalizing the budget adjustment. On the council to have council,
Speaker.
The problem is we are still having pandemic, which the capacity of municipal chamber does not allow us to attend meeting physically, as we are 90 councillors plus officials and directors. So the last time I checked, the chamber allows only 60 maximum councillors in accordance with COVID regulation. Even if we can use the gallery, it allows 15, which give us 75 councillors. We do not want to contravene with the regulation. May we please be patient, honorable councillors, and this pandemic will pass and we go back to our normal physical meetings. Thank you.
Speaker?
Yes, honorable councillor.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I thought you'd call the councillor who was responding to Councillor Mutapu, because what he said is wrong, and you have just corrected it yourself. And again, Honorable Speaker, what you've just said is not correct, because this council has many venues. We know this council has been holding meetings at the Library Gardens. The first council we held at Ngogoramatlodi. That is our venue. So the fact that you say that we have only two venues which cannot accommodate us, it is incorrect. If you had also said we've also considered Ramatlodi, which is not correct, because the following. So your information is incorrect, Honorable Speaker. If you could just also say the next meeting will be held in a venue which can accommodate all of us, then we go to Ramatlodi, like we did. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Speaker.
I can see the hand of Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Razuma, Councillor Shibambu, and then the executive mayor will follow.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I can also maybe propose that we could also have a hybrid meeting, which means half of the members attend virtually and the other half attend face-to-face. That is also been done in Parliament, so I think that is also possible. Thank you.
And I take you on.
Councillor Shibambu. Councillor Shibambu. Okay, Executive Mayor, you may come in.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, Council Chief Whip and leaders of parties represented in Council. I prefer to call it that way so that we don't oppose each other for the sake of it when we have been called opposition parties, whereas we are, all parties are actually parties that are representing constituencies, various constituencies in council. So the first thing, and greetings to all of you fellow councillors, good afternoon. I think, Speaker, you have covered the issue of council, how you convene council, but I think leaders from various parties are actually bringing issues into council precisely because they don't seem to be meeting at a multi-party forum where they could discuss, and earlier on, lack of consultation prior to the meeting make us to debate issues that could have been debated, including advice is your prerogative to decide how you are going to convene the meeting, whether hybrid, whether physical, whether virtual. But parties, they can advise after their interactions, or they can even extend their multi-party whip-party meetings to both the Speaker and the Executive Mayor. And having said that, I think we had a very successful interaction with various political parties. It is unfortunate that the leadership of one of our major party was not part of the meeting due to their own engagements, but I think we had a very fruitful engagement. My request is that there might be other issues that, Speaker, you might refer them to the multi-party whip-party where all political parties may have to sit before the next council and advise you accordingly, so that we avoid always the introductory issues and discuss issues, including the agenda, even before we come to this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor, for the response. Secretariat, may you read the next item, please?
Madam Speaker, the third item, proposal of condolences or congratulations by the Speaker.
None. Read the next item.
Proposals of condolences or congratulations by other members.
Honorable Councillor Marx.
Thank you, Speaker. It's not really a congratulations or a condolences, but I think we as council should take note of what is going on between Russia and at this stage, and that it affects our own economy as well as the world economy. I think it's something that we should take note, and that we should also be concerned about it and the lives that has been lost so far. I'm not sure if I'm out of order, but that is my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Marx. Even though you will have done this on item 5, but thank you for that, Secretariat. Next item, please.
The next item is official notices and announcements.
Next item, Secretariat.
Confirmation of minutes of previous meeting. That the minutes of ordinary council meeting held on the 31st January 2022 be approved. The set of minutes are attached.
Thank you, Secretariat. We are having the minutes dated 31 January 2022, and I'm going to follow up page by page. In that order, you check if you correct what is not right, and you check if your name has been captured correctly. I'm going to start by page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. I can see the hand of Councillor Shibabu. Councillor Shibabu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I just wanted to just make an input for administration. Can they make sure that they check the printout of the system, because I see the name of Councillor Sibati there, but on the other side it is said that he was not in the meeting. But my team report, there is a name there. Can they, as and when they are doing the verification part of it, they also verify, even if maybe they forgot to tick a person when we were saying present and all that, they also confirm with the report so that there is a correspondence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Shibabu. Page 7. Page 8. Secretariat. Secretariat, have you noted the Councillor Sivati a letter?
Yes, we copied the mistake, Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, up to 41 is the attended register. Can I see by the show of hands, Councillor will be adopting the minutes? I can see the hand of Councillor Mariru Alfatan.
Thanks very much, Madam Speaker. I move for the adoption of the minutes with the correction made. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor. Anyone who second the move? I can see the hand of Honorable Councillor Mashalani.
Seconded.
Thank you, Councillor. Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, we move to item 7, notice of questions and relevant answers.
Okay, thank you, Secretariat. Item number 7. We have received written questions from the DA and the EFF, and relevant answers are contained in the volume 1 of the agenda. And it's on item 2 and 3. Next item, please.
Speaker.
Honorable Councillor Ramapakela.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. When you say next item, were you referring to item number 8? Just to understand the
Yes,
procedure.
Councillor Ramapakela.
Sorry?
Yes.
Okay. No, then it means you didn't see my hand. Speaker, we have received their answers. To say the least, the response, how the answers are structured, they are very incorporate. Secondly, Speaker? Yes.
I've just said on item number 7, notice of questions and relevant answers, that we have received written questions from the DA and the EFF, and the relevant answers are contained in volume 1 of the agenda, item number 2 and number 3. Wait on items.
Oh, okay, no, sorry.
Agenda items, please.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, we are on item 8, motions deferred.
I can see the hands of Councillor Marx. Or is an old one? Councillor Mariri, your hand is still up.
No, I'm sorry, Madam Speaker. I forgot to lower the hand.
Okay, thank you. Secretariat.
Speaker, my hand is up. What is happening today, Luenana?
Oh, I thought maybe it's the old one. Sorry, Councillor Ramapake.
No, thanks. Speaker, I want to understand you well. We are not skipping number 7, do we?
No, we are not. We are not.
Okay.
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you, Speaker.
Thank you.
One sora woman muno uta kuplasha mereko. Oru uta kuplasha mereko ora otare o tadia duche kamoga so en mafela jaju.
Sorry for that, councillors. Secretariat, read the next item.
The next item is item 9, petitions.
I can see the hand of Councillor Marx.
No, Speaker, I was confused. We are not on the agenda items yet, so it makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Marx. Secretariat, next item.
We move to item 10, notice of motions and relevant answers.
Oh.
Next item, Secretariat.
Item 11, report of the executive mayor, section A items. We are going to item number 1, which is budget adjustment budget for 2021-2022 financial year. We start on page 1.
This is a hand of Councillor Buota, Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Rapetswa. In that order, please.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. All protocol observed. I do have a few questions. I'm starting on page 14, where you can see employee-related services was increased with 33,771 million. Why is the question, and where is it funded from? Next question, why are we spending so much overtime and standby allowances? Which departments get overtime and allowances? And are there vacant posts, and why are they not filled? Question number 2, on line item regarding contracted services, it was increased with 182 million. For which projects was it, and where was it funded from? Where you can the next one, your comments is saying the increase was to cover costs. Which costs? This is a 25% increase. Can we please get detail on these contracts? Still on page 14, line item regarding the additional transfer. To whom is the additional transfer and subsidies going, and for which projects? And then also, why is the Annandale project behind? And what led to this project to be behind? On the next line item, other expenditure increased with 29 million. What does this relate to? Regarding the litter operation, why was this not budgeted for in the original budget? And why is there an increase in spending in this project? Next one, page 15. Expenditure has increased with 223 million more than revenue. How is this increase going to be funded? Lastly, on page 16. How is this going to be funded? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Councillor Buota. Councillor Mariette.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to comment on the printing, which is really not good. Specifically, the tables are really very difficult to read, even with glasses, and the printing is really poor. If I can look into that, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pretorius. Councillor Rapetswa.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And I want to join Councillor Mariette on this notion of printing. I think we must improve on our documents. They must be readable and user-friendly. And also that the numbering should be up to standard. If you can look in our documents, even when Councillor Botha was speaking and she was referring to pages, when she says 14, you are starting to wonder, is it 14 at the bottom or 14 up there on the page? Because there are two numbers on one page. So it becomes very difficult for us to follow the discussion. But just to assist, because on the issues of overtime, I think it is practice in this council that we do receive the consolidated overtime report, which shows specifically which departments overspend and how they spend. Like in the previous councils, there was the report, and which was referred, I think, to MPEG for further scrutiny. So it becomes part of our business to thoroughly scrutinize over time as a single report. I think the purpose of this report was just to show in terms of the media assessment, what can we spend on and what cannot and what we can't spend on, based on the current look of things from the municipality's point of view. So this is just only the adjustments towards the conclusion of the financial year, and which sets the basis for budgeting in the new financial year. So the reduction is where we cannot spend the project that we cannot conclude, as in when we are looking at the status quo, and allocate more funds where we think we can be able to spend. But of course, I think management must be told to implement forward planning. We've always been saying this, united as councillors in this council, because it cannot be correct that we do not spend 100%, more especially on infrastructure projects where they are grant funded. I mean, you have been given a grant because you have approved, you have got approved plans and designs, and yet you still cannot spend 100. It does not make sense. And I think consequence management, we should start kicking in going forward if we are not going to be spending what we have asked for, because the grant is what we are asking for from the national government, and when we are granted, we cannot spend. I think that will speak to issues of consequence management. Thanks very much. But I think, Honorable Speaker, the recommendations are in order, and I move for the recommendations.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Rapetswa. I can see the hands of MMC Nkwe.
Yeah, no, thanks, Speaker. Afternoon to everyone, including the Executive Mayor. Speaker, the Chief Whip has covered me in most aspects, but I can say the questions that have been raised by the Council. Employee cost is the main cause of the overturn, but we are at our joint portfolios coming up with action plans to deal with that. One of the suggestions is to have a ship system. The other question that she raised, it was about the who's funding. It is funded by our own revenue. She also mentioned expenditures. Let me, Speaker, mention that all expenditures that are required are funded by our own revenue and grants. If you can check on page 14, it gives in detail the total capital funding there. It gives the integrated urban development grant, public transport network grant, and all the grants there. She also mentioned the transfer and subsidies. That one is for the Polokwane Housing Association, that Annadale Phase 2 social housing project there. Other expenditures are for fuel and insurances. So I also second the Chief Whip. The recommendations are in order. I second that we adopt this budget adjustment. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you, MMC Nkwe. The recommendations are approved. Secretariat, next item, please.
Madam Speaker, the next item, report on the response to formal questions raised by the Democratic Alliance in relation to the Executive Mayor's graduation ceremony held on the 9th December 2021.
Next item, Secretariat.
The third item, written questions.
Okay, thank you. I can see the hand of Councillor Max, yes.
Thank you, Speaker. Yes, thank you, Speaker. Speaker, from our side, I just want to move this item as the caucus leader. And we wish to thank you for the response. And I hope when other councillors ask for a similar waiving of fees, it will be treated in the same manner as which the EM's response was dealt with. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Councillor Max. Next item, Secretariat.
Item 3, written questions received from the Economic Freedom Fighter, EFF, regarding indigence and other related matters, page 103.
Thank you, Secretariat. Before that, Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Nkwe, your hands is still up. I don't know if it's the new one or the old one.
Sorry,
If it's the old one, please lower your hands, please.
Sorry, Speaker, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ramapakela, you will be followed by Councillor Max. In that order, please.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Like I said, the response is very uncorporate. When you respond to a question, you don't refer an answer to an annexure. You quote in an annexure what the annexure is saying, and then attach the annexure. Without what the annexure is, without what the MOU is saying, you may not have read it yourself. You just attach it. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, on page 105, number 5, why did the agreement exclude other areas of the municipality sharing the same problems as Mankweng or with Mankweng? The answer is not true, that the council at the time was not aware of any other areas. That is not true, Honorable Speaker. This was discussed in council. All the localities which have the same problems were even tabled in council. So this is not true. And what is interesting in the answer is on question 2, where it says, what legislative provision or policy did the mayor base his decision on? Because we don't have such provision in the municipality. This is where the mayor went to Seshego and asked the residents to write affidavits as in the replacement of the letters of authorities, etc., etc. Now, the response said the executive mayor suggested this procedure. It is interesting to see how an executive manager can condone a replacement of policy by a suggestion. But anyway, we only wanted to get answers from management. We are going to bounce these documents with the Auditor General, Treasury, and Costa, and we will engage them with a view to get responses. That is included in our rights as councillors. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Ramapakela. Secretariat. Councillor Max. Councillor Max.
Yes, thank you, Speaker. I thought you forgot about me. Speaker, may I first refer you to the Annexure D. It's on page 113. And you will note that the Democratic Alliance vote against the above mentioned item. Now, the reason was, and I've spoken on this item, because the questions now asked by the EFF directly relate to the legality of this decision. Now, first of all, the policy that there's interruption, Speaker. May I continue, Speaker?
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, so the question was not answered. The question is, which policy was used to determine or impose, not a council resolution. Now, when rates are determined by council, you would recall we do it every year so that on 1 July it gets implemented. There's a rates policy and there's a rates bylaw, there's a customer care policy, etc., etc. Now, that policy goes through public participation, it goes in the newspapers, it's advertised, there's first a draft and come back. Now, the dilemma that is sitting here is that this specific decision taken by the ANC at that stage, and unfortunately I need to mention the ANC because they took this decision as we have voted against it. Speaker, the problem is that this is not a valid resolution because you cannot amend the rates policy without first going to the public participation process. And notwithstanding this advice, they continued, and I want to raise it again, so that when it goes to wherever the EFF intend to take it or raise it, that those persons or those entities take note that the council was advised and informed and warned as far back as 18 February 2016. Even more concerned, Speaker, is the fact that this MOU was signed before it came to council. And no one could ever explain on what authority did the mayor sign a memorandum of understanding without council's consent.
Order.
Speaker.
Order. Order, Speaker.
Yes, Councillor Nkwe.
Order.
What's the order for?
Speaker, on item, there are rules of debate 8.4.1. I think the speaker is getting out of, is no longer relevant to the item that has been discussed here. He's not speaking directly to the subject. He's discussing matters of memorandum of understanding. He's totally out of debate. Thanks.
Order sustained. Secretariat, next item.
Speaker, if I may just ask, how can it be sustained? He clearly say MOU, that is a memorandum of understanding. Question 1, the answer is, the agreement is in relation to the MOU signed on 18 February. That is the item, memorandum of understanding. Wow, Speaker, before you make a ruling, please at least give the Speaker...
But Councillor, you're bringing issues which are not here on this item.
But that is the item.
No, you're not discussing the item. Be straight to the item.
Councillor Max.
I take note of your ruling, Speaker.
Okay, thank you. I can see the hand of Executive Mayor.
I think I'm covered, Speaker. But I wanted just colleagues to, you see, once council take a decision, it cannot be an ANC decision. It's a council decision. The fact that the ANC might have been in the majority or have been in the majority in 2016, it does not make council to be synonymous with the African National Congress. Council is composed of all of us. Even when we differ, we use democratic mechanism to resolve issues. And that afterwards, it cannot be referred as an ANC decision. I think we should not go to that particular extent because the ANC as an organization is not running the municipality of Polokwane but the ANC have won majority seats and it is represented by councillors, and all of us are councillors representing or coming from various parties. So I just wanted to request that debates must not degenerate into the ANC and the DA. Yes, of course, we note that at the end that the Democratic Alliance has been noted not of having voted against the above item. It has been noted. But that does not mean the resolution or these resolutions are resolutions of the African National Congress. I wanted us not to degenerate the process into that extent, because then it will mean all of us being here, we are not in council, we are not councillors, we are not a council of Polokwane, but we're a fragmentation of various political parties. When decisions are taken, we don't attach it to a political party. If that can be clarified or be rectified, Madam Speaker, with due respect.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. Noted. Secretariat, you may read the next item, please.
Speaker, my hand is up. I don't know what is happening today when I speak.
Councillor Ramapakela, I thought your hand is for the old one.
No.
And you have already speak on that item.
No, Speaker, it's not on that issue. I'm just saying, please take this item very serious. When you leave here, back to your office, analyze it properly, because it's going to keep you busy forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Ramapakela. Secretariat, next item, please.
Madam Speaker, we move to item 4, extension of acting municipal manager. It leads us to page 124.
Next item, Secretariat.
Item 5 on volume 2, reopening of libraries and museums, services and demand management on page 128.
Next item, Secretariat.
Item 6, donation of 50 gap housing sites in township around Polokwane City to military veterans, approved on page 131.
I'm noting the hand of Councillor Pretorius.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want just to go to page 135, the comments of the Director Transportation. I just want to read one or two sentences here. It should, however, be noted that the only level of service that can be guaranteed by the SBU is a basic roads infrastructure in the form of gravelling, which means we will not be able to service this whole project only with gravel roads. It is also said that it might be difficult to afford this program in the next 3 to 4 years. So I'm not sure if this project can be approved if we can't deliver the services. Thank you.
Chief Whip.
Thank you very much once again, Speaker. I think the community can only be established once we've made land available for them. Now, once people start staying there in those gravel roads, eventually they will be part of our planning processes. Our planning processes for budgeting include public participation, where they will be raising their civic delivery issues for council, for us as council, to take note of and to budget correctly. Now, even when there is budget over time, over the years, in the outer years, we may have sufficient monies to finance whatever infrastructure needs that may be needed. We have been developing townships, Honorable Speaker, where there are no tarred roads, where there is gravel, and our people are staying there, and they will staying with the hope that in the future, sufficient money might be available that will cater for our infrastructure needs. We cannot deny granting land to our military veterans because of a tar road. They will stay there as in when we progress, as in when the years progresses, as in when they form part of the budgeting process through public participation. One day they will be covered. One day their area will be covered in terms of infrastructure. I think I want to move for the recommendations. Honorable Speaker, this is a very good item where we are redistributing land to the previously disadvantaged. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Rapetswa. I can see the hand of Councillor Mukamedi. You'll be followed by Councillor Ngwe. And then
Madam Speaker.
Councillor Quarter. I've noted your hands also.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to my colleagues, councillors. Honorable Speaker, I just want to align myself with what the Chief Whip was saying, because I guess it's a bonus to our veterans to can establish this kind of a project. So I'm agreeing with the recommendation that's stated here. And in terms of the service around that area, I guess, as a Councillor Rapetswa has said, we're having a process of IDP, Integrated Development Plan, whereby the same veterans will be forming part of their needs in terms of infrastructure. So I do support this recommendation. Let's donate land for these veterans. They've liberated us. Today we can speak in this council because of them. So I'm supporting the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mukamedi. Councillor Ngwe.
Thanks, Speaker. The Rata Speaker has covered me. I'm supporting the recommendations. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. Honorable Councillor Ngwe. Honorable Councillor Botha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Firstly, we as the DA see this as going in the best direction. Our concern is that we don't have the same problems as we have in similar extensions where there's no service delivery, where there's no upgrading of gravel roads. That is the concern that was raised by Councillor Pretorius. My question is, Madam Speaker, will the veterans be given title deeds? Because that seems to be the best way, ownership for the veterans. And then lastly, Madam Speaker, I don't want to say or to instruct Madam Speaker how to run a council, but if we go and look in the council rules, the floor is firstly open for issues and questions, and thereafter the councillors can move for the adoption or the approval of the recommendations. Can we in future do it like that, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Botha. Councillor Mtabeng.
Thank you, Speaker. My concern is, let me start with, I agree with the recommendation, but I have a concern here with the RDPs, the old ones that have been idling, not occupied by their owners, and is long being advertised for looking for beneficiaries. So I just wanted to know what was the findings of the beneficiaries of that old RDPs. Thank you.
The last one to speak.
Thank you, Councillor Mtabeng. I'm now going to take the last hand of Honorable Councillor Ramapakela.
Honorable Speaker, I'm not sure whether I'm going to be speaking to the relevant item. Are we still on the donation of 50 gap housing?
Yes, we are, Councillor.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to say what I said in the portfolio committee, that when the donation is made and the beneficiaries are identified. We should, as the policy say, rely on the database of the Department of Defense. Remember, the database has been collapsed now. It started anew. The president said in his response in Parliament now in January that they are going to be verifying. There's going to be a process of verification of who is a genuine military veteran. So as we speak, there is no database that is standing except of those that are known to have been in exile and are trained soldiers. So those that were not there, it doesn't mean they are not MK members, but their records need to be verified. Is made and I'm saying this because all the database that come from the former Northern Transvaal, it was done by me. So this concern, I know it very, very, very well. So for the municipality not to err in the identification of beneficiaries, as we've agreed with the Director Kolope, is that we follow the process that was started by the President until when the national database is re-established and the database is distributed to the relevant areas from where those veterans will be coming from. Then we will not have a problem of the genuine veterans marching to this municipality saying, those people who have given houses, we don't know them. We have never seen them in our operations. They never participated. So that is my advice, that in the recommendation, we include that the database which we'll rely on will be the one that is completed by the military, by the Department of Defense and Military Veterans. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Ramapakela. Chief, if you want to say something?
Yes, Speaker. I actually wanted to speak on what Councillor Ramapakela is saying. I think it is quite important to understand that we are responding to a request by the department to say, whenever you've got land available, please donate so that we can cater for our military veterans. We are not in charge of that database. We are not that department. We are responding to a call because we have got the land. The department does not have the land. They are saying to us, Polokwane municipality, whenever you have land, and we've made land available, so let's donate land to the department and let's let the department deal with the nitty-gritties of verifying who is a veteran, who's not a military veteran. That is not our area of expertise. I think, Honorable Speaker.
Speaker, order.
I'm for the recommendations.
Order,
there is dissenting view, Honorable Speaker.
Order, Speaker.
Let us entertain that based on the
order, Speaker.
Councillor Ramapakela, what is the order for?
Yeah, Speaker, what the Chief Whip is saying is incorrect. He didn't read the document. The document is very clear that we donate the land and we're also going to assist we're also going to assist in the allocation of those houses to beneficiaries. We don't just end where the land is allocated. No. He must read exactly that. If it had said the land only, I wouldn't have raised this issue. Thank you, Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor. Thank you, Honorable Ramapakela.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Councillor Mashamwani.
Yes, I just wanted to indicate that recommendation number 7 says the sites being allocated as per the military veteran verified list by the Department of Military Veterans. And I wonder why it should be an issue when it comes to our veterans who are supposed to get those benefits. They must get them. They deserve those benefits. Please. Our grandfathers were given bicycles. So why don't they get houses? Please. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Mashawane. The recommendation are supported. Next item, Secretariat.
The next item, Madam Speaker, is item 7. Request to cancel for approval of the unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure reduction strategy for Polokwane municipality and investigation of the irregular expenditure identified in the 2020-2021 financial year. It's on page 139.
Thank you, Secretariat. I can see the hand of Councillor Chidi, be followed by Councillor Max.
Right. Afternoon, Madam Speaker. Okay, one fully supports the reduction strategy and wishes for its full application. It will assist the institution greatly. But then I would like to refer Council to page 143, recommendation 3, that MPEC investigate the unauthorized and irregular expenditure as identified by the Auditor General, the 2020-2021. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to advise Council that it would be effective that we attach a timeline for MPEC, not that we are trying to suppress MPEC, but to give a timeline to this effect, because as things stand, Madam Speaker, I'm sure you are aware, you're from the previous administration, there is a backlog of items that are in MPEC's office that have not been dealt with from the previous administration, because we had not given MPEC a timeline in dealing with reports. So one would have asked that we amend this recommendation and add that MPEC, or maybe let's put it as recommendation 4, that MPEC reports back to Council with the findings and recommendations to the investigation in 3 months' time, in the next Council, something along those lines. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Chidi. Honorable Councillor Max.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, recommendation number 2, minor spelling error. It referred to by the Office of the General. I assume it should be an Auditor General. So just a minor error there. Speaker, then I'm a bit concerned that we're always moving the buck from one side to another. As Councillor Chidi correctly indicated, the issues and items that serves in MPEC is long overdue, and it doesn't seem to have any consequence management. I would therefore recommend that we also add number 4, that the acting municipal manager report to this council as to what steps the acting municipal manager will take to reduce unauthorized and irregular expenditure, but more importantly, because remember, Speaker, unauthorized and irregular mean it was done wrong, it should not have been paid at all. The question is, what does our municipality do to recover those funds from the officials involved in this unauthorized and irregular expenditure? It needs to be reclaimed, and officials need to know that there's certain procedures that needs to be followed. And I would therefore request that item 4 be added so the MM can advise us as to which officials did not follow the correct procedure and what consequences will there be for officials who refuse to follow procedure. Thank you, Speaker.
I can see the hand of Chief Whip, followed by Councillor Mogamedi. In that order, please.
Yeah, thank you very much once again, Chief Whip. And let me align myself with the sentiments of Councillor Chidi that perhaps in the next sitting of ordinary council sitting, because we have got only 4 ordinary council sittings, 1 in a quarter. So it is only fair that MPEC reports to council after a quarter. I think a quarter is enough, is sufficient time for them to deal with the issues of further scrutinizing whatever report. And the report on the unauthorized and irregular expenditure is not an exception. So I think we must not take away the functions of the designated committees of council to exercise oversight. I think the officials are responsible for the administrative work of the institution. The committee of MPEC is duly designated to exercise further scrutinize the work of officials in that regard. Let it be the relevant portfolio of MPEC to scrutinize and check, because administration here is giving us a strategy. Those are the steps that perhaps councillors are asking about. The strategy refers to those steps. MPEC in its quarterly and in its yearly running of their affairs, they will also make an assessment if that strategy is working, as in when they peruse the unauthorized and irregular expenditure. I think let MPEC be the body duly designated to deal with that. Let us not change that. And I think I move for the recommendations as they are, but with the addition that in the next council sitting, ordinary council sitting, MPEC must be able to respond on the findings. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Rapetswa. There was a proposal for recommendation number 4 to be added on the recommendations. Is there any seconder on that?
You have noted me, Speaker.
Councillor Mokamedi.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I guess the recommendation that was said by Councillor Chidi, which said that recommendation number 4, Speaker, it cannot be correct. As a councillor, the chief whip have said, MPEC has its role that it must play, and we need not to take that responsibility from MPEC. And in principle, MPEC report quarterly to the council. So what the chief whip was saying is correct. Let's allow MPEC, then quarterly they must come back and report. And I just want to go back because I'm hearing Councillor Chidi, she's mentioning about the past, what you call council, to say that there are outstanding issues. I don't know how it fit in this situation because it's irrelevant to me seated here, because those are the issues that happened last. If there were issues related to that, Councillor Chidi, she was part of MPEC. We need not to recall the previous council. She was supposed to assist because seated here, councillors, new councillors that are sitting today, they don't know about outstanding issue, Honorable Speaker. So I'm in a view to say that let's allow MPEC to do its responsibility, then quarterly MPEC will come and report to council.
Greetings to the executive. MPEC, because already MPEC has its way of operation. MPEC reports to the ordinary council quarterly. So there is no need for us to be writing that, because obviously this is what should happen. This is the procedure that must take place. So I'm standing here to actually I'm standing for the recommendations as they are with no any other addition, because MPEC will obviously report to council because it reports there. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Mamabolo, and thank you for the inputs. We are not going to add recommendation as MPEC has their own operational plan. Thank you, Secretariat. May you read the next item.
The next item, Madam Speaker, is item number 8. Stock taking for the first quarter of 2021-2022 financial year, page 164.
Point of order, Speaker.
What is the order for Councillor Max?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, you asked if there was any seconder to my recommendation. Then Councillor Chidi raised her hand to second. Before she could do so, it's already ruled that it cannot be done. So we did not proceed to any voting whatsoever. And only thing that I'm asking you is please follow the rules that should you note that that recommendation is not accepted, just minute it in the rule book, please, or in the minutes. I don't want to go into an argument about it, but you can just minute it that it was not accepted. Thank you.
Order, Speaker.
Speaker, order.
What is the order for?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, we cannot be on matters of procedure. Just because a person does not want to be procedural, then we take it to. We cannot. I mean, it is procedure that MPEC is the designated committee to deal with specific matters, not the accounting officer, not whoever. Now, we cannot here be unprocedural and say we are going to put a matter to a vote. And Speaker, you have correctly ruled on the item, Honorable Speaker, correctly so, that the recommendations are supported and that MPEC has got its own operational plan. They will report to Council based on their operational plan. Can you please proceed, Honorable Speaker, and not be defocused?
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Rapitswa. Secretariat, you may read the next item.
On a point of order, please. Can you just then minute your ruling in your ruling book, please, as per the rules? Thank you. I accept your ruling. I'm only asking you to make a note thereof in your ruling book as per the rules of our house. Thank you.
Noted, Honorable Councillor Max. Secretariat.
Next item is item 8, stock taking for the first quarter of 2021-2022 financial year, page 164.
Secretariat. Okay, I can see the hand of Councillor Mutapo. Okay, if it was the whole old hands for Councillor Mutapo, you can read the next item.
The next item, bid awarded for the month of January 2021-2022 financial year, page 172.
Next item.
Item 10, financial report for the period ended 31st January 2022. It takes us to page 176.
Next item.
Madam Speaker, we move to volume number 3, item 11, proposal for the light industrial for charcoal processing plant next to approved municipal light industrial park at Petersburg Extension 26 on page 259.
Thank you, Secretariat. I can see the hand of Councillor Buota will be followed by Councillor Pretorius.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Referring to page 263, Madam Speaker, can you just page to that? Madam Speaker, due to the poor quality, we as Council cannot make an informed decision regarding this document because the map is not clear, it's black. Madam Speaker, are you now on page 263?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So yes, during the portfolio meeting in admin and governance, we did ask the officials that we get clear copies. You make a Word document and you convert it to PDF. It's not necessary for us to use copies of a copy, and this is clearly a copy of a copy. Madam Speaker, we raise this issue in every council. Can we please get the officials to adhere to the plea of the councillors, please?
Councillor Pretorius will be followed by Councillor Rapp.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'm covered by Councillor Buerta, but I second what she's saying. Most of these maps and photos is you can't read it, you can't see what's happening there. I second what she's saying. Thank you.
Councillor Rapeto.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think in the early stages of this council meeting, Honourable Speaker, we have spoken to the issue of the quality of documents. And where sufficient information is there that enables us to take a decision, we have taken a decision. In reference, Honourable Speaker, was when we were dealing with issues of adjustment budget, where some of the line items were not visible, but we could all agree that at least 80% or 99% of the document gives us sufficient information for us to take a decision. From the page that the councillor is referring to, page 263, where it is supposed to be a map, it is true the map is not visible, but the report, the background, the discussion, and the recommendations from the administration enable us to take a decision. So it becomes not true that we cannot take a decision when there is sufficient information available. I think this is a very good initiative, Honourable Speaker, and that, Honourable Speaker, this will also speak to your revenue enhancement. Honourable Speaker, I think we need to take a decision on this. I fully approve and I fully agree with the recommendations. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Madam Speaker.
Rapetwa.
Madam Speaker.
Councillor Mashangwani will be followed by Honourable Councillor Mamabul.
Let me just add on.
Maybe identify us.
Yes, Honourable
Okay.
Member. Okay.
Madam.
Honourable Councillor Shibambu will follow Honourable Councillor Mamabulu. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, let me just add on what Councillor Chief Whip indicated. I don't know whether it's the complainant or the councillor who showed dissatisfaction about this, the whole thing. I can just refer her to...
Madam Speaker, on a point of order. Madam Speaker, on a point of order. Madam Speaker,
what is
on
the
a
order?
point of order.
Councillor Potter.
My question was where, Madam Speaker, directly to Madam Speaker. I wasn't yet answered on where, but yet I have councillors now complaining about my question.
Order, Speaker, order.
Councillor Rapetswa, what's the order for?
If councillors are going to have a problem with discussions in council, then I don't. Maybe they are in the wrong place. When issues are put for discussion, there is always a contestation of ideas. When we are raising issues, we are not raising issues because we dislike other councillors, but it's because we are discussing as councillors, and the contestation of ideas will always be there up until we reach a resolution. Thank you very much.
Can you proceed? MMC Mashangwane. MMC Mashangwane, you may proceed.
Okay, Madam Speaker, it was the previous hand, but I was just referring the councillor to page 264 so that he can see that the matter on the table is clear on that picture. Thank you, on that map. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mashangwane. Councillor Nomonde Chibabu.
Speaker.
Thank you very much, Speaker.
Oh, Councillor Mamabolo.
Councillor Jeruta,
speak after Councillor Chibabu. My apology for that.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think the concern raised by Councillor Buota is just for the future reference, because indeed the document is very clear what is the intention of the project, how it's going to affect our communities, and how it will create opportunities and dealing with issues of young people, unemployment issues. So I think that one is very clear. That is the intention, that council find a way of creating that platform for that to happen. The issue of a document not appearing correctly, this is not the first item we are raising this matter, but I think also, Speaker, we must be honest and we must be progressive as councillors, all of us, because we are getting documents 3 days or 4 days before, and we realize these documents are not correct. And there is a platform or there is a communication channel where the office of the Speaker can be communicated before council to say, Speaker, please correct page 3, so that all of us were in a position to make sure that council moves smoothly. But it can't be correct that every time we just identify a weakness, after 3 days we are not saying anything. In council, we make that as an issue for us not to take a decision. So I'm thinking, council, Speaker, through you, let's take into consideration, or councillors raise issues in that 3 days if there are issues of technicalities that needs to be corrected, so that we move with speed, Speaker, to give services to our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Shibabu. Honorable Councillor Mamabolo, you are the last one to speak to this item.
Thank you very much, Speaker, Honorable Speaker. By just reading the background in page 261, Honorable Speaker, we understand that this is an opportunity we must afford these young people to come and work and also assist in the youth development, because we cannot be a municipality that is anti-youth development. The youth will forever exist, and if there are avenues of this nature or opportunities of this nature, Honorable Speaker, we can't be the ones depriving the youth this very same opportunity. Let us agree to say these recommendations are very much correct, Honorable Speaker, and I'm moving with these recommendations as they are, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mamavulo. The recommendation are approved. Secretariat, can you read the next item, please?
Item 12, request for donation of portion A, ERF 8286, Seshego B, to Regaogetwe Old Age Center, page 348.
Next item, Secretariat.
Request for permission to install and hoist of the flags on ERF 13548 Petersburg by Road Agency Limpopo Pty SOC Limited, page 378.
Next item, Secretariat. Next item.
Report to lease ERF 5970, Seshego A, extension 2 to Polokwane Drop-in Center, page 389.
Honorable Councillor Mamavulo, Honorable Councillor Buota, may you lower our hands, please. Secretariat.
Sorry, Speaker.
Secretariat, next item.
Madam Speaker, we are moving to volume 4, item number 15. Polokwane Municipality Student Accommodation Policy 2021, page 399.
Councillor Lube. Next item, Secretariat.
Item 16, request to lease a portion of ERF 797 Westernburg Extension 3 to American Tower Company, South Africa, page 482.
Next item, Secretariat.
Item 17, request to lease a portion of ERF 13934 Polokwane Extension 73 American Tower Company, South Africa. It's on page 496.
Next item, Secretariat.
Item 18 on volume 5. Request to lease a portion of ERF 627 Seshego 9L Lituli Park Extension to Vodacom, page 510.
Next item, Secretariat.
Intention to enter into a short-term lease agreement with the current occupying institutions on ERF 1481 Seshego H, page 520.
Next item.
Item 20, report on the progress made regarding the Itsoseng Entrepreneurial Center, 567.
Councillor Chidi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just have a few clarity-seeking questions. Referring Council to page 567, with regard to the recommendation 1, I just wanted to ask about the line item speaks about a challenge that was faced that resulted in the delay of the project. I just wanted to be clarified in that regard because I could not find an attachment to that effect. And then referring Council to page 570, quoting Councillor Mwakamedi's word that we are a new administration, we were not part, we cannot entertain ourselves with the previous administration's issues.
Order, Speaker.
What is the order for Councillor Mwakamedi?
Yeah, Councillor Chidi, I guess that
Councillor Mwakamedi, you are not audible.
May I proceed, Madam Speaker?
Councillor Mwakamedi, you may proceed, Councillor Chidi.
All right, thank you, Madam Speaker. Therefore, I have the following questions because we are a new administration. Okay, then my question is, I understand that Wayne is conducting a social and labor plan as the funder. So I wanted to know, since Polokwane municipality is not incurring any financial implications, however, what is the arrangement between Polokwane municipality and Wayne? Did Wayne send 500,000 into the bank account of the municipality directly so that the municipality can pay Classic Creations as the service provider, or will Wayne be paying that directly to them? And then I wanted to know, with regard to the progress, who is monitoring the progress with regard to that project? Is it the funder or us as the end user? And then what is the arrangement to that effect? And then the last question being, do we know when Wayne had arranged for the project to be completed? Because when you refer to page 570, when you read the letter, it says the two parties will enter into a memorandum of understanding. But because we are a new term of office, we do not want to entertain ourselves with the previous admin as quoting Councillor Mwakamedi. Can we then be abreast with the contents of this particular memorandum of understanding so that we know what is our role as Polokwane municipality and when this project would likely to come to a finish? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Chidi. Honorable Councillor Mashangwani.
Madam Speaker. Okay. Madam, can I respond, Madam Speaker?
Yes, you can respond, Councillor.
Can I say that this report is about updating the council about the fencing of our Ituseng Entrepreneur Center located next to the bus station? Wene or Vierne is the company that has signed an agreement with municipality as part of the company to comply with the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy Social and Labor Plan. The department requested some of the amendments, and those amendments were effected in order to finalize the agreement. The Economic Development and Tourism, EDT, SBU has previously complained about the fencing of Ituseng Enterprise Development until when the SBU approached the company for funding of this project. The municipality is not involved in the SEM processes in terms of the appointment. They only needed just one vote in order to have base for their SCM tour. No funds will be transferred to the municipality, and the Vienne Mining Company as reference as client will be responsible for all funding to the project and no financial implication to be incurred by the municipality. The quotation is for Vienne Mining Company as a client, Josie Creation. Polokwane municipality will receive the hand over the project after completion. For example, the kind of funding is not for the first time received from the municipality. Lafarge renovated and provides technical workshop as part of their social and labor plans. And thank you, Madam Speaker. I can just pause there. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mashangwane. Councillor Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think in aligning myself with the MMC, the challenges here refers to the time delays because this was supposed to be implemented some time ago. And the department wanted certain amendments. Those were the challenges. They mainly speak to the time delays. And I think the report is self-explanatory. The CFO has commented to say there will be no financial implications in this regard. And that should be sufficient to say as a municipality will not be popping out a cent to anybody. But whenever you pop up a cent, it means now there are financial implications. I think we can note the recommendations and the progress, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Rapetwa. Councillor Chidi, are you doing the follow-up question?
Yes, Madam Speaker, it's a follow-up. I asked a question that will it be the municipality that will be monitoring the progress of this particular project as the end user, or will it be Wayne? And then I wanted to ask, what is the arrangement regarding the progress there too? Because as things stand, we are not given a report as to when the likelihood would be for this particular project to come to an end. It's been 3 years, but I understand we are not the funder of that particular project. We are receiving a donation of some sort, but surely with the contents of this memorandum of understanding, which we do not have in our list now, can we just be given highlight what was the agreed time of completion for that particular project? Because as things stand, it doesn't look good there at Itusheng. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Chidi. Honorable Councillor Rapetwa.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's only fair, Honorable Speaker, because this is an update report. Can perhaps we suggest, because it's only fair to know when will this project be implemented, because the report as it is not that very much informative in terms of the clarity questions there raised by Councillor Chidi. I think in the next council, an updated report with specifics to say when it intends to start through their contractor, which is Classic Creations, on this date, and we anticipate the project to be completed by this date. Whether we'll be monitoring the implementation on our own, or they will be doing that, or we'll be doing that jointly, should also feature in the report, in the next update report. But for now, this is what we've been given to note by administration. I think let us note, but note with those with that remark that says in the next council we'll need additional information with regards to the time and also the monitoring. I think we're agreeing there. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Rapetwa. The recommendation are noted. Secretariat, next item, please.
Item 21, project approval implementation of Limpopo Business Registration Act 5 of 2003. It's on page 577.
Next item, please.
Item 22 on volume 6, public participation for development of the Polokwane Office Development Guidelines 2021 on page 6 to 8.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In relation to the Office Development Guidelines, I just want to ask sort of a general question on the medical node. I see the survey that's been done in town shows a lot of medical offices and medical consulting rooms all over town, which means that we really need expansion of the medical node. I'm not sure if the survey has been completed about the new medical node, and I would like to know what is the progress in developing a new node, because there's a huge demand for new medical consulting rooms. Then also on page 643, also just in relation to the R71, offices and businesses, which is going right up to Mankweng, which has been built on the reserve of the road reserve, which is total illegal. It's not really speaking to this item, but I just want to know what is going to be done to combat that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Victoria. Honorable Councillor Mashangwane.
Madam Speaker, I don't want to say Councillor is out of order, but I just want to say that the comment is irrelevant. She must just have to consult the relevant departments or relevant people. We are dealing with the matter now for this. That comment is not meant for this discussion. Well, we are dealing with public participation for development of the Polokwane Office Development Guidelines. And then if we can check there, we are dealing with this matter according to the agenda, and that we should have public participation. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Mashangwane. And this is in order. We are dealing with the issue of public participation. Next item, Secretariat.
The next item, Madam Speaker, is item 23. Proposal for the proposed competitive model for the use of the African market infrastructure, page 680.
Councillor Chidi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just have a few clarity-seeking questions regarding this particular item, as we are in the new administration. With regard to recommendation 1 on page 680, that council lists out the Africa market building, this new model that we are bringing about 14 years after the construction of this particular infrastructure. I wanted to know what was the initial intended purpose of this particular Africa market infrastructure? The second question, what caused the need to change the plans from this intended use of this particular building? And when you read further into the recommendations, what happens that none of the entities the municipality wants to lease the property to budge in to lease the property? What will then be the next plan that the municipality has? Since, well, we're trying to forward think or forward plan. And then can one classify this as a wasteful expenditure on the part that the municipality constructed this infrastructure 14 years ago, but late 14 years now, it has not been utilized? And then with regards to recommendation 3.2, I just wanted to be clarified. When they talk about the disposal policy framework, does the municipality also consider donating this particular infrastructure? And then with regard to recommendation 3.5, that the service provider attend to all the remaining outstanding elements to be included for the best use of this facility. I wanted to know, when you read page 683, it says that in 2020, the Finance and LED Committee requested the SBU EDT to come with an alternative that will assist the use of the facility without incurring any further costs. So, but now when they talk about a service provider here, I wanted to know, will this service provider, work on a free term basis? And has a new service provider been appointed? Or is it the old one who worked on the project 14 years ago? And for the realization of this recommendation, how much does the municipality need to fix those alterations on the infrastructure? And then EM, do you think that this project not being used for its intended purpose, which was designed for 14 years ago, should we still cough up funds to alter this? Is this still necessary, or should we just classify this as a wasteful and expenditure? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Chidi. Councillor Pretorius, is this hand new or is the old one? Okay. It seems is the old one, Councillor Rapeto.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think the report speaks of various ways in which we can best utilize that particular site, the African market, and the fact that administration further want to save council resources by coming with an alternative of a public-private partnership, the triple P arrangement that is spoken about here on page 683. It's really encouraging because we cannot be wasting money on that old infrastructure that never served the purpose, that never worked in the best interest of the municipality. And I think this report speaks to various options to lease, to refurbish without exhausting council money. To be honest, Honorable Speaker, I think here administration has outdone themselves in terms of utilizing a dilapidated structure, which is a burden of council, which is sitting there in our asset register, and not adding value, because an asset must bring economic benefits to the institution and be beneficial to the people of Polokwane. But as it stands, I think the model, the competitive model that is proposed, and the refurbishment of that infrastructure on a triple P arrangement, to me, Honourable Speaker, are very progressive. I think it will be in the best interest of council to move for the recommendations, and that an updated report be brought in the sitting in the next sitting of council, of ordinary council, so that we can be able to measure our progress on this particular matter. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Rapetwa. Councillor Mashangwani.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are not changing the initial use of the land, and that the council note of the attached status of the African market building report on the structural integrity of the facility. That the council approve the competitive bidding approach for the use of the African market infrastructure for its intended use. That includes arts and craft, hairdressing, restaurant, entertainment center, etc., with the following recommendations. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Councillor Mashangwani. Councillor Shiji.
All right, thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a follow-up. Since we have not really changed the intended use of this infrastructure, then my question still remains: what caused the municipality to be in a state where 14 years later, the infrastructure has not been used for its intended purpose? I just want to be clarified. Why are we sitting with an infrastructure that has not been used for 14 years since its inception? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Rapetwa.
Yeah, thank you once again, Speaker. I think it goes without saying that there's been an intention that there was this property was leased to individuals before, and the individuals could not make business out of it. Hence, they left the property in that particular dilapidated state. Their business venture did not even succeed. If you read on page 682, just after annexure, the word annexure A, the construction of the market stalls was designed to suit certain types of businesses that will be housed at the African market. It has been long since contractors left site and the building is deteriorating due to non-occupancy. That is what I was speaking to say it was leased to various individuals before, and the individuals could not make good business, their business ventures did not succeed. Hence, it was left to be in that state. And in all fairness, Honorable Speaker, we find ourselves in this situation with this dilapidated structure. We can question the historical decisions that were taken, which were not favorable, but what are we doing about them now? And I think administration is being proactive in terms of dealing with that, in terms of bringing this report and suggesting these models and suggesting and coming with these innovative ways of partnering with private to ensure that council is not pressured on the use of resources towards the bringing up to light of this infrastructure. I think, Honorable Speaker, we can move for the recommendations.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Rapetwa. I can see the
Madam Speaker.
Councillor Chidi.
Madam Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that. Councillor Mashangwani.
Yes, Madam Speaker, the council previously received a comprehensive report that led the council not to fund the project further. And we have requested support from other departments, but we did not succeed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mashangwani. Next item, please.
Madam Speaker, we move to item 7, item number 24, report on the review of the recruitment policy, page 743.
Councillor Chidi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to ask 3 clarity-seeking questions. When you refer to page 745, clause 418, the current position is that interviews must be conducted within 3 months after the closing date of the advertisement. But then now the proposed amendment is that it should be within 4 months. Doesn't this change or adjustment bring about a prolonging the process of filling up our vacancies when we move from 3 months to 4 months? And then when you go to page 775.8.4, when it talks about the appointment of family members, relatives of present employees and councillors, I just wanted to ask, the clause is very silent on councillors who apply for vacancies in the same institution where they are councillors. I just wanted to know, with this policy in line with the Treasury regulation, are we just letting it slide and allowing councillors to apply for vacancies within the municipalities where they serve as councillors? Or does this policy prohibit them in that regard? I just wanted clarity on that basis, but otherwise, it's not a difficult item. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Chidi. Councillor Mashalani. Councillor Mashalani.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. On clause 4.1.8, we have extended by 1 month because of some challenges that were when they interview, the HR is going through when they're supposed to get hold of people and to do some interviews and vettings and whatnot. Because in terms of compliance, they were taking too long. They were unable to deal with the issue of compliance in overall, so that they requested that the council can permit them to extend with 1 month so that the vettings and all the necessary steps that should be taken be done. It's just a matter of compliance. And on the other question, I did not get the question clearly. Can I request Councillor Chidi to repeat the question?
All right, Madam Speaker. All right, Madam Speaker, just to assist the MMC, on page 775.8.4, the appointment of family members and relatives of present employees and councillors. I just thought maybe would add something. I don't know, but the clause is very silent on councillors who apply for vacancies in the same institution where they are councillors. I wanted to know, in principle, do we in Polokwane municipality afford councillors the opportunity to apply for vacancies in an institution where they are councillors? I understand the Treasury regulation says you cannot be both a councillor and an official, but it does not go deeper into whether a councillor can apply for vacancies. So I wanted assistance in interpreting that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Chidi. Councillor Rapeto.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think, and let me appreciate comment. Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, once again. And let me appreciate the comment by Councillor Chidi to say Treasury regulations says that you cannot be a councillor and an official at the same time. So it tells you clearly that there is nothing wrong with a councillor seeking, applying for a job at the institution where he's working as a councillor. Because immediately if he's appointable or appointed eventually, he ceases to become a councillor of that particular institution. I think it just speaks to the rights of individuals. Every individual in South Africa has got a right to apply for employment where it is advertised at will, whether in Zimbabwe, whether in Limpopo or in Cape Town, if you are working there or not. If the national regulations do permit, who are we as Polokwane municipality to prohibit or limit councillors from switching from being councillors to being officials? I think it only speaks to the issue of qualifying. If you do qualify and if you are appointable and if you do meet the criteria, if you are fit for purpose, you can be appointed, you can apply, and the process should be fair. The accounting officer should ensure that the administrative processes that will lead to you being eventually appointed is fair. You do not have any advantage over other applicants. I think there is nothing that should limit us as Polokwane to allow councillors to pursue other careers. That will be infringing on their rights. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Rapetswa. Councillor Shibabu.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think if we would have take the advice by Councillor Chidi, you would suggest that an employee of Polokwane cannot apply in Polokwane. I take that, Speaker. We are not employees of Polokwane through that, which takes us out of any processes that deals with issues of employees. But for interest's sake, because she has brought it into the attention now that we are speaking about employees, I think the only thing that can be a technical matter is the conflict of interest, which can be analyzed at another stage. But I don't think where it can be right to say a person, if he's in the institution, that person cannot have a right to apply to that institution. If that post is a promotion, I don't know if there is a promotion beyond being a councillor and I'm interested into that promotion. Are we saying that individual cannot apply for that? So I think, Speaker, according to me, the issue of councillors in this item makes no, we should not align issues of employees and councillors, because we have our own regulation and employees have their own regulation. But for interest's sake, every person has a right to apply everywhere in South Africa. But as in when we are doing that, we must ensure that such it's not done in contravention of any legislation that is there. If there is no legislation that I'm contravening, I don't see a point where we should be including that item as speaker. Thank you very much. I'm in support of the submission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Councillor Chidi.
Speaker, I've been raising my hand.
No, thank you, Madam Speaker. I appreciate the response by the Chief Whip that Polokwane municipality does not prohibit councillors from applying for vacancies. I just wanted clarity on that because the policy was silent, but now that there's a response, I'm covered. I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Chudi. Secretariat, next item.
Next item, Madam Speaker, is item 25. Report on the resignation of Mr. M.J. Lamola, Director, Roads and Transportation Services, and request for the declaration of vacancy for the post on page 783.
Next item.
Next item, Madam Speaker, report to request council approval to advertise for the appointment of external expert to the Polokwane Municipality Geographic Names Committee for the 2021-2026 council term of office, page 814.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mataji, please mute your video. Councillor Mataji, Soli. May you please mute? Okay, I can see the hand of Councillor Water, Councillor Shadu. In that order, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to confirm it is item 26 that we are on.
Yes, we are on.
Madam Speaker?
We are on item number 26, Councillor Potter.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Madam Speaker. I see this item served in the mayoral committee. Madam Speaker, I want to ask how many names were successfully implemented during the previous council. My concern is we are paying for this committee. So in actual fact, the council needs to get responses, and that's the reason why I'm asking the question on the successful implementation of names that went through. Thank you.
Councillor Shadu.
Ke leboga Speaker, ke dumedishe ba lekgotla le EM ka moka a bona. Ya rena re no kgopela gore
What is the order for Councillor Rapeso?
Thanks very much. I think we have agreed in this council that we will try our level best to speak in the language that it is understandable by all. I think the chairperson of geographic names must just speak in English.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rapeso. Councillor Shadu.
So I speak in English, Speaker.
Councillor Shadu.
Speaker, le re bolela ka sekgowa.
Ka mogorokwaneng ka gone.
Bolela ka sekgowa ngwaneso.
Papa, thank you, Speaker. The report to request council approval to advertise for the appointment of external experts to the Polokwane Local Geographic Names Committee for the 2026 council term of office. You will understand that as per the policy, Speaker and members of the council, I want to bring this to attention that the policy we are to recommend, we are to not to recommend but to appoint external experts so that they come in to assist the committee. So we are saying that we were made aware, we have learned that in the last council, these three posts, the external experts posts were advertised, and unfortunately we did not, that previous council did not receive much of the applications. As such, we are therefore saying that may this council approve that we advertise for the appointment of external experts to serve in the Polokwane Local Geographic Names Committee for the 2021 to 2026 term of office. And further say, Madam Speaker, and further suggest or further request the council to grant the committee permission to headhunt in cases where no application is received by when this is being advertised. In cases that we do not receive any interest from candidates, may we then headhunt these external experts. I so suggest, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Shadu.
Thank you very much, Speaker. For the benefit of the 32nd question, those experts, the number is 3. We're paying 3. Councillor Chidi raised this 32nd question, and I want to agree with the chairperson of the Geographic Names Change, Councillor Molepo, when he is further suggesting that we grant them permission to headhunt in the event they are not able to find suitable candidates or suitable applicants, because that will mean the work of the committee will be stuck. I think we can add that recommendation. I'm in agreement that we add that recommendation that is suggested. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Rapetswa. The recommendation is approved. Secretariat. Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, we are now moving to
Secretariat.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Did you note the addition?
Yes, we did. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Okay, you may proceed reading the next item.
We move to Section B items. MC 16/02/22, year-to-date actual consolidated overtime expenditure report for period ending 31st January 2022, page 823.
Thank you. Councillor Molepo, you may lower your hand. I can see the hand of Councillor Chidi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to plead with the House that we add recommendation 2 that this overtime expenditure report be referred to MPEC. Thank you.
Noted, Councillor Chidi. Next item, Secretariat.
Next item, Budget and Treasury Revenue Status Report for the month ended 31st January 2022, page 834.
Next item, Secretariat.
Submission of progress report on demand management plan as implemented for the month of January 2022 for 2021-2022 financial year, page 854.
Next item.
Next item, Madam Speaker, report on acting appointment as at January 2022. It is on page 881.
Thank you. Councillor Botha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I raised the issue in the portfolio and I'm also raising it in council. I did raise it with the adjustment budget and I'm raising it again. We have directors leaving positions and we have abundant amount of acting appointments. I am requesting council that we look into the issue so that we can get the advertising processes complete and the processes of the officials filled correctly. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Botha. Chief Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I agree with Councillor Botha, and I think we are in line with her request because the administration is in line with her request because with these resignations they do declare the post. I think one of the good example was a report in this meeting today where a director has resigned and the administration has asked us to grant them permission to declare a post immediately. I think if you can do all that in cases where the officials have resigned or where there are posts which are funded, I think we should be quick to advertise and fill the positions. I think if she's very much correct, and I'm agreeing that the acting MM must move with speed to ensure that where posts are funded, together with the executive mayor, after making careful analysis of the situation and the wage bill, advertised posts and get the recruitment processes running. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm also noting the update on acting appointments. Thanks.
Noted, Secretariat. Next item.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are moving to addendum report, item number 1. Update report on the implementation of the separation of power model. It's on page 1 of our addendum report.
Next item, Secretariat.
Madam Speaker, that was the last item for the day. We are now moving to the announcement. From our side, we don't have any.
I don't have any on my side. Next item.
Next item, Madam Speaker, it's a closure.
Thank you, Secretariat. On that note, that concludes the business of the day. The council is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.